How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Trades and Grades YouTube channel. I'm Wright, and today is Dynasty Trade Tuesday. If you don't know what that is, we've been doing this new segment where people put trades, Dynasty trades, in the comments or from subscribers. And I pick them and I grade them here live on YouTube. If you have a trade that you want graded, go ahead and put it in the comments, and you might see yourself on next week's episode. Let's get it. All right, guys, if you haven't yet already, please like this video, subscribe to our channel. We just had a recent video go out, a wide receiver rankings with the class of 2023 involved. It was fantastic. We got so much support, so many kind comments, people commenting, arguing back and forth about wide receivers is fantastic. And that's what I want. I want to help everyone with their, dynasty, whether it's trades, whether it's rankings, prospects. Now we're in the off season. It's 2023 now. Championship week has been over, and now we're into the new scouting of the 2023 class, which is looking pretty good. So I'm going to start putting out some new scout videos, probably on Fridays. Yeah, all that being said, guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. So let's get to our first trade here, and this team is pretty loaded. Now I'm going to start setting it up like this where you guys can see the teams. I ask for the teams when people put trades in the comments. They usually just put the trade. I'll be like, hey, send me the team, send me the format. I'll go ahead and put it in here for everyone to look at. I think it's easier that way. So here's a team, super flex team, and it's loaded. This is if you're watching this video, Fizzle Dollars. I'm gonna botch these names terribly, but his team's ridiculous. He wanted me to grade it, and so we'll go through here. Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, Tua are your three quarterbacks in Superflex. That's amazing. You have Derrick Henry, J.K. Dobbins at running back, and then wide receivers: Kupp, Hill, Lamb, London, Pittman, Devontae Smith. You get the bench: Ridley, Thomas, DJ Moore. Ridiculous. You have Miles Sanders down there with Cam Akers. Cam Akers making a resurgence, so maybe he's viable, maybe he's not. I think if you have Cam Akers right now, this is probably the time to sell him. Personally, I think his value's skyrocketed back up to where it was probably before he'd gotten back from the Achilles injury. His hype was starting to build. I'm not really a big fan of Cam Akers, so if you have him, I'm probably going to sell him. But, is what it is. And then, Kyle Pitts, not a bad tight end. Now, I get some flack for saying that this year. He's still my tight end one in Dynasty. Kyle Pitts is still tight end one. I don't care what anybody says. If you guys want a video about that, I can break down the analytics from this year, going over that. And then Dalton Schultz as well. So his team is loaded. And then we take a look over at the draft picks, and they are also loaded. So he's the 101, the 102, the 103, and the 108 and 23 in 324 first. Fizzle Dollars. I don't know how you did this. I don't know how you assembled this team, but you did a fantastic job. This team is amazing. And he's won back-to-back Dynasty championships. Now he's in the Bijan sweepstakes. It's sky's the limit for this team. I feel bad for whoever is in this league because that's ridiculous. But here's a trade offer that he sent me. He wants me to grade. So he did this. He said this is a trade that he wouldn't mind having graded. The 103, he has the 103. He's giving away. Giving the 103, Romeo Dubs, Tyler Algier, 24 second, and he's going to be getting back Breece Hall and a 24 third. I personally think you should do this trade. If I had to give it a grade, I'm going with probably, I would say like an A- trade for you. Nah, I don't know. I'll say A-. And here's the thing. A+ is like a slam dunk, right? Like just absolute no-brainer. Some of you guys might think this is an absolute no-brainer. I love Breece Hall. The 103 in a Superflex league, though, that's CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. That's worth a lot. Algier's worth quite a bit right now. He's had a couple good weeks. Time to sell him. Sell Tyler Algier. If you have Tyler Algier, sell him. right now. This is as high as his value is going to get, 24 second as well. But I love Breece Hall. I think he's worth multiple seconds. He's not going to be back next year, full health. I'm just going to let you guys know that right now. I love Breece. Have him in my home league. Wish he'd be back early, but he's not. We're looking at 2024, full health for Breece Hall. Dalvin Cook also tore his ACL early on in his career. The first year he came back wasn't quite the same. And then you know what happened after that. Been running back one for 5-6 years. So I'm not too worried about the ACL tear. It's not as bad as guys like, Javonte Williams or J.K. Dobbins. So Breece Hall is going to be fine. But if I had to grade this trade, I'm giving A-. I think it's good. I would do this trade. Absolutely. Fizzle, Dollars, fantastic team, bro. This is great. Keep it up. Next team we got coming in here is not quite as top tier as a team. This is from Michael Matarazzo. Again, bad names, but he's in the kind of a flux here. So he's got Fields, Rodgers, and then Desmond Ridder at quarterback. Running backs really thin. He's got Rashad Penny, Gus Edwards. After that is, I think, Latavius Murray, and that's about it. And then at wide receiver, he's got some young guys: Treylon Burks, George Pickens, Christian Watson, Curtis Samuel, Kadarius Toney, and tight end Bellinger, Everett Gesicki there on the bench. There's a couple other guys, but nothing worth mentioning. He doesn't tell me what his 23 picks are, so I can't say for sure anything about that. It's also IDP, so he didn't put the players for IDP, but we're just gonna ignore that because I don't know anything about IDP. I probably should be in the league, but that's even almost too much for me. So here's the trade offer. It's a mid 24 first. And I put in quotations because we have no idea, right? I like to say that my firsts are always going to be late because I'm going to be winning championships, but that's just not always the case. This year in my home league, I had 8 guys on IR that were starters at one point. Just unbelievable. Just terrible luck, but it is what it is. Thought my first was going to be late and that being middle of the road. So I've just kind of stopped putting a label and stuff like that. So we don't know. We'll say 24 first, late. He told me mid and late. 24 first, 24 first, 26 first. So this could be early as well for Jonathon Taylor. With this team, this is like an F trade, right? If there was a trade that I would never do, this would be it. And this isn't like you're an idiot for doing this trade. This is more like it depends on what your roster is. And for this roster, they need as much depth as possible, right? They're very young, but there's not any depth at all, and you need all the first. If you had Jonathon Taylor, let's say this team had Jonathon Taylor, this is the type of offer I'd be looking to get for this team. I'm not trying to give away picks, so no shot I'm doing this trade, not at all. So I hope that helped you, Michael. If you have any other trades, obviously, ask them at any point in time, put them in the chat. This last trade isn't a trade necessarily. This is something that somebody wanted me to it's like a general question for 23 picks. This is from Jack Nadeau. Again, could have messed that up, but this is just general. So this isn't the trade. This is just what he has and what he wants to get. So he has this year the 105, the 111, 202, an early, again, in quotations, early 24 first, and a mid 24 first. And he wants to get Bijan. He wants the 101, him and, everybody else. It's going to be tough to acquire. But if you're going to acquire, if you're saying to yourself, between now and May, I have to get the 101, no matter what you have to do, I'm going to get it. Now is going to be the time because the hype is going to get out of control. It's going to get crazy. And once you get to May, once you get into your dynasty drafts, it's just going to be mayhem. This happens to me myself. I'll be in the draft and I'll be like, man, I would give so much for Jameson Williams right now. We're sent to 107. I would trade a lot to go get that because all you can think about is how good they're going to be. But at the same time, you have to realize they're prospects for a reason. People were loving, Sky Moore, James Cook at the end of the first. Those just were not picks to be made that you wanted. But at the time, they were looking pretty good because James Cook just went to the Buffalo Bills in the second round, draft capital, all that stuff. What I'm saying is, if you have picks, keep them as long as you can in the offseason, unless it's like ridiculous. And if you have a trade you're questioning, again, put them in the comments. But it's just one of those things where like you just want to hold them as long as possible. But if you're trying to get a higher pick, now's the time, I think, personally, is to go after it hard early on, because they just accumulate in value. So here's what I'm giving. And it's hard to grade anything or say what you should do, because if you look at the last trade I just said, that was a terrible trade for his team. For another team, that might make sense somewhat. But for right now, if we have a team like, the first team we graded, Fizzle, you're giving up 105, 111, 202 easily for Bijan. I would do that. Absolutely. I think comfortably the 105 and the 111 to get there, I would do. You can add on the 2-on-2, depends on your team's depth. I asked him what his team looked like. He didn't end up responding, or his league format, which is cool, whatever. But if we're just going blanket statement, this is what I'm going to do. I'm comfortable doing the 105, 111. If I need a running, I'm like, this is the last piece, guys. This is it. I get Bijan, my team's going to the championship, then yeah, I'll be comfortable giving up all 3 and 23, because you have those 224 picks as well, and you're getting Bijan, and he's only going to go up in value. It's going to be dumb. So, yeah, that's the last trade I have. I'm going to be doing 3 every single time, we have one of these shows. So, again, if you have one, if you're questioning something, I'm always here to answer questions, and maybe you get one on the show. Who knows? But yeah, all right, that's all I got for you guys. If you haven't watched the video I was talking about earlier, I'm going to put it up right here. Go ahead and click on it. Watch the wide receivers dynasty rankings video. It's awesome. Very informative. We'll see you next time.